attacks began when 3 persons were shot to death by police in a series of unconnected incidents earlier this week. In today's press conference, Chief Davis blamed television news reporters for sensationalizing the recent police shooting. He also blamed the rumors of his resignation on what he called his enemies on the city council and in the mayor's office. During the 30-minute press conference, Chief Nelson shouted his angry answers at reporters and pounded the podium for emphasis. Persistent rumors that he would step down from his job were later
Dick? Humphrey. I'm at the airport, but something's come up. I can't make it for dinner, but I'll be there later, about 11, okay? Good. Turn it up.
Chief Nelson shouted his angry answers at reporters and pounded the podium for emphasis. His attacks on the city council and the mayor's office is the newest outburst in the longest simmering political feud in this city. This is Carolyn Coates. Now back to News Center 6.
Turn it off. How long does it take to get to Channel 6?
Why don't you ask the cab driver, buddy?
Absolutely brilliant suggestion. Carolyn Coates, please. You could tell her it's a matter of life or death. My card.
Carolyn, there's a guy out here who wants to see you about a small matter of life or death. No, I don't think he's one of those. His card says he's Dr. Humphrey Baxter from Johns Hopkins University. Right. She'll be out in a moment.
Thank you. Oh, may I have my card back? Thank you.
Dr. Baxter?
Yes. I've been told I have a very abrupt manner, even peremptory. I find it saves a great deal of time.
I see.
I never saw you before an hour ago at the airport, on television. I came straight here.
I don't think I want to ask why.
Why? It's really quite simple. We're going to get married.
You really are a nutcase, aren't you?
Humphrey, get in here. You should have let us pick you up at the airport.
Come on, Dick. Meeting people at airports should be declared a crime. A federal crime.
Stella's just in here. Look who's here.
Nothing's wrong, is there? I mean, your call from the airport.
Oh,
and
no, Stella, nothing's wrong. Oh, nothing's wrong, and you look as splendid as ever. By the way, I have great news. Vingelberg has accepted me.
In Vienna?
I got the word just before I left Baltimore, so I thought I'd come up here and spend a month with you two and then fly from here to Vienna. That is, if it's all right with the both of you.
All right, Humphrey. You've no idea what you'll do for my position with the faculty wives pecking order.
Vingelberg. There's a rumor going around that he's close to a breakthrough on the aging process.
It's a bit more than a rumor.
So that's why he needs a top endocrinologist.
Mm-hmm. And I have some more good news. I'm going to get married.
Humphrey!
When? To whom?
Soon, I hope. Would you like to meet the bride?
Well, of course. When?
I think right about now.
Frank Nelson shouted to reporters that he had no intention of retiring. Not today, not next week, not ever. TV cameras were barred from today's press conference, which featured heated exchange.
Carolyn Coates?
Do you know her?
Well, hardly. You're talking to the shabby professor and his wife. We don't pal around with those types. How long have you known her?
About 4 hours, I'd say.
And you're going to marry her?
I am.
Does she know it?
She does.
You mean she said yes?
Not yet. But she hasn't said no either. There are 28 balloons. They symbolize the number of days we have left before we leave for Vienna.
Vienna.
Which I'm sure you'll love. We'll remain there for 1 year while I work with Vingelberg,
Finkelberg.
a noted scientist. Today, my courtship officially begins. Shall we start with lunch?
Do I have a choice?
Almost none.
You're crazy, you know that? Absolutely mad as a hat.
Well, I'm a bit ostentatious, perhaps, but since this is your last day in the television industry, why not?
I told them today that I was quitting to get married.
Good.
And guess what they told me? They told me that I could either quit and get married, or I could have the anchor spot on the 6 o'clock news. So guess what I told them?
You would have liked Vienna, I think. I'm sure you would have.
Oh, Humphrey, it's only for 1 year. And you can fly back and see me at least once or twice. We can write, we can phone each other. We'll still be engaged.
Telephone, yes. Right, of course, but fly back, never. Dr. Vingelberg would never stand for that. He's too close to that breakthrough.
On his aging process, honey.
He's right, and he always is. I won't get out of that laboratory unless they burn it down. You won't change your mind?
Humphrey, I'm going to explain something to you, and I want you to listen very carefully.
Certainly.
5 years ago, I was a Nebraska farm girl just out of business school. Next week, I'm going to be a $200,000 a year anchorwoman on the best station in the biggest market in this country. And it's not because of my brilliant mind. It's because all those genes and chromosomes you're always talking about make me look the way I do. They're not paying for my expertise on the common market. They're paying for my looks and my youth, and I'm not going to have them forever.
No, perhaps not. But what's to become of us?
Hans, come on, we're in love. Very much so. It's only going to be 1 year. And then after that, well, after that, we'll have forever.
Then it's settled.
Flight, isn't it?
From Vienna, it's 15 hours. Is she here?
Dick's in the study.
Welcome back, Humph. How was Vienna?
Where is she, Dick? I wired that I meet her here. I've been trying to call her for a month, but her phone's been disconnected or something, and somehow I keep missing her at the studio. Is she all right?
Carolyn's fine. It's just that,
Carolyn's fallen in love with a tennis star.
A tennis player?
Well, he's more than just that. He's Alan Brody, the national singles champion. He's
showbiz, Humph. Just like Carolyn. She's not just a pretty face you see on the 6 o'clock news anymore. She's a celebrity. And so is Brody. They can't tie their shoes without it's getting into the papers.
They're getting married next month, I think.
Where are they now?
Caroline's moved into his place out at Malibu.
What's the address?
You're not going to do anything foolish, are you?
Whatever gave you that idea, Stella? Carolyn Coates, please. I'm Humphrey Baxter.
They're expecting you. They're down on the court.
Thank you.
Hey, watch
Sorry.
it. Yeah, save those for the game. Oh, not bad.
Humphrey. Well, what do you think of us?
I think yes. I think you're both very charming, and I hope we'll all be friends.
There, you see, darling, what did I tell you? Humphrey's the most sensible man I've ever known.
She's told me a great deal about you, Doctor. All of it flattering.
Humphrey, please. Or Humph. That's what all my friends call me.
Come on, let's practice.
He's teaching me.
You know, I picked up a newspaper the other day, and there was a story in it about you and a Dr. Vingle something.
Vingelberg.
Yeah, Vingleberg. It was a pretty complicated story, but the gist of it seemed to be that the two of you had made some kind of breakthrough, discovered the fountain of youth or something. Nice one.
No, nothing so fantastic.
But it's made you famous, Humphrey.
Not as famous as the two of you. You both have youth and fame. It's a heady mixture.
Yeah, well, I don't know about the youth. I've got a match next week with a 17-year-old kid who'll probably wipe up the court with me.
But then, who wants to be young forever?
I do. Me.
Really?
Yes.
Well, those newspaper stories weren't entirely accurate. For one thing, they didn't give Vingelberg enough credit. But we did make a breakthrough, a very complicated and expensive one. In fact, I brought you an example of it as a present. Carolyn, I'd like you to meet Methuselah. He just had a birthday. He turned 5.
Oh, hi.
Cool.
5 weeks?
No, 5 years. I just brought him back from Vienna. You just displayed instinctive prejudice. Before long, the world will have to get used to this sort of thing.
Well, that's a freak cat or a dwarf or something.
Oh, no. He's perfectly normal in every respect.
What'll happen to it? Will it eventually explode or crumble into dust or what?
Probably die of a heart attack. But after 40 years of glorious youth, which is 280 years in human terms.
Will your stuff work on humans?
Yes, theoretically. Well, it's more than theoretical if you want to be absolutely accurate. You see, I can't say anything else unless I can swear you both to absolute secrecy.
We won't say a word.
Never.
All right. We did make a breakthrough, Vingelberg and I. Mostly Vingelberg, of course. But unfortunately, the source of the serum dies once the serum is extracted.
What's the source?
Man himself.
People? You mean?
Well, they were volunteers. But the big breakthrough is that we're absolutely certain we have a synthetic source. Unfortunately, it'll take years and millions of dollars to develop.
But you did make some of it.
We made it only 3 times, under circumstances about which I will tell you absolutely nothing.
3.
Yes, I took 1 dose.
You did?
Yes, me. Well, I helped discover it, so I took it. Vingelberg also took 1. He's 68 and as ugly as a monkey. He's going to remain 68 and ugly for 200 years.
It stops aging completely.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
What about the other dose? You said there were 3.
The 3rd one I brought back with me from Vienna. Carolyn, I needn't tell you why. This is life, youth, and love for nearly 200 years. It's for you. Rather, it's for both of you. You could call it sort of a wedding present. But you must swear, you must solemnly swear, both of you, not to mention a word. Do you swear?
I do.
I do.
Rather like a wedding ceremony, isn't it?
We'll each take half.
100 years each.
No, you can't do that. Your body does not understand mathematics. Half a dose could cause deformation, even death. Now, what I gave you was 1 dose and 1 dose only. It's to be taken orally, at a gulp. The taste is not unpleasant. It's very safe unless you fool around with it. And then it's dynamite. Just keep it as a curiosity. It's not very pretty, but it is unique. Well, I've got to go now, so congratulations. And my very best wishes for a long and a very, very happy life. Goodbye.
I want you to take this right now, right away.
No, darling, I want you to take it. It's for you. Please. You're the athlete. Think of your game.
You mean there's something wrong with my game?
No, of course not. Your game's holding up beautifully. Everyone says so.
Holding up. The kiss of death.
Darling, I don't want to see you get old and sick and ugly and die. I'd die rather than have that happen.
That's just how I feel.
Would you still love me even if I grew old?
Sure I would.
and the bad of it, folks. We'll continue our series tomorrow at the same time. Until then, this is Pat Ward, Channel 10 News.
So, what do you think of our new co-anchor?
Well, she's a little young.
That's what the ad agencies are buying this year. Youth.
Youth. Well, she looked good.
You'll meet her next week. Listen, by the way, could you go to see Jan in makeup? She has an idea about your hair. Sort of pull it back or something. She swears it'll take a couple years off you.
Sure. I can do that. Go see Jan. Darling!
I left him.
The tennis player.
Yes.
Well, these things happen. Come in.
It's all your fault, Humphrey.
Yes, I would imagine. Sit down.
It's that stuff you gave us, that stupid serum.
I suppose that means that you drank it.
Yes, I drank it. Behind his back.
What did he say when you told him?
I didn't tell him. How do you tell somebody that he's going to grow old while you're staying young? I just drank it. And then I filled the thing up with water and I threw a little quinine in it.
Why the quinine?
Well, to give it that bitter taste that it has.
I see. Go on.
Well, then I started watching him. Watching him grow old, I guess. And then I started noticing things, you know?
Like what?
I don't know, just stuff I didn't like about him. And then I suddenly just stopped loving him. If in fact I ever did.
It's very difficult being immortal. There's only 3 of us. You, me, and old Vingelberg. Just us 3 in all the world.
I let you down, Humphrey.
Yes, perhaps. But we could try again, can't we? By the way, you're quite sure it tasted bitter?
Yes, it was very bitter.
No mistake about that.
No.
That's strange. You see, when I first filled the bottle, I used tap water and salt for taste, you know. So clearly, someone else drank it and substituted something else, which you drank.